Diddy's trial saw some truly shocking things come to light. Some of them we knew for years and had confirmed. Others we had no idea things were this bad. So today we're going some truly horrific secrets that were exposed at Diddy's trial.
For whatever reason, the feds didn't present a lot of stuff that would have made sure that he was gone forever, rather than just being gone to November. And it's not going to be November. See, that sentencing is coming. Maybe that's really the problem. Maybe that's why people got so much to say about whistleblowers and truth tellers. Maybe y'all need to find a way to drag us all the way down and to drag us all the way to filth. And you think that that's going to be the thing that springs the diddler from the pigeon coop he's being held in. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. After October 3rd, there's going to be a lot of people who's going to be quaking in their boots. There's going to be a lot of knees knocking. Because the longer he has to stay in there, people are going to wonder, how long is it going to be before he turns into his dear old dad and just starts snitching on everybody?
Let's look at the first bombshell to nuke the courtroom. In court, one of Diddy's former bodyguards revealed something jaw-dropping. He claimed he personally saw Diddy sit down with stacks of cash, $100,000, to buy and destroy a USB drive. On that drive, allegedly damaging footage from a hotel security camera showing him and Cassie during a troubling night. The bodyguard swore he watched Diddy count the money out by hand to make sure the deal went through. But even though the payment was made, the video didn't stay buried. It resurfaced years later and has now become a centerpiece of the entire case. Jurors reportedly leaned in when this detail was shared, realizing it could be one of the strongest pieces of evidence. But Jaguar Wright in particular thinks that the vast majority of evidence never actually made it to the trial.
His job of people in the Shluminati is to pretend like none of it's real, to pretend like none of it happens, to keep the secret, to make it all seem like, oh no, that's not happening, that's not happening, that's not happening. Isn't that exactly what's happening now? HSI runs up onto multiple properties, and they collected all kinds of things that never made it to that courtroom, did it? Not one mention of a firearm, not one mention, even though some of the testimony said that he carried fire. The way Kid Cudi's car, the way that whole situation happened, I mean, it was on court document. People were sitting there talking about it, and they still trying to act like that never happened.
In fact, things seemed so solid that even a Homeland agent testified against Diddy.
Homeland Security agent that raided Diddy's Miami house is testifying against him. He didn't get a lot of time on the stand today because court is about to end, but we will go ahead and talk about what he said, and then I will add these parts into his full testimony tomorrow. They asked this Homeland Security agent what time they raided Diddy's Miami home, and they said after 3 p.m. They said, why did you raid it so late? And they said, because we were tipped off that Diddy and his family were about to leave the country. And I'm sure you guys remember when they raided Diddy's houses, he wasn't there. They actually caught him at the airport getting ready to get on his private jet. And this is when Homeland Security arrested one of Diddy's right-hand men, Paul, for narcotic offenses. Then they asked this Homeland Security agent what they all found at Diddy's Miami property. And he talked about the weapons with defaced serial numbers being loaded and all of that information. He also said he found toys, if you get what I mean, and he also found Astroglide.
Kid Cudi's testimony brought the courtroom to a standstill. He said his friendship with Cassie sparked a chain reaction that went way beyond music drama. First, his Porsche, a sleek custom model he loved, mysteriously exploded in his driveway after someone tossed a Molotov cocktail. Cudi said he never forgot the sight of the flames. And that wasn't all. He also claimed Diddy once broke into his home and destroyed his wrapped Christmas gifts, leaving the living room ransacked. He actually even testified about being super hesitant to testify against Diddy, knowing how the accused had a thirst for lashing out.
I hated every minute of it. Like I did not want to do it. But then I thought about, when I was up there, I'm here to support Cassie. And, Cassie is my friend, and I love her and I want to see her do well. When I saw her get married, I was so happy for her, that she found someone, her person. When I saw that she was having kids, I was like, oh, this is so awesome. You know what I mean? Like, I've always just wanted to see her, thrive and do well and be happy, because I know she was living a nightmare. And I just was there to support her. That's what kind of gave me peace with it when I sat down in that chair. It was just about, damn, I don't want to do this, to being like, oh man, I gotta like hold homegirl down and like,
According to Cutie, these weren't just random incidents. They were deliberate warnings.
It was crazy, man. Like, man. In the moment, it was just crazy. Like, I had a hard time understanding if it was reality. Like, I was like, am I in a movie? What the is going on? But it was, just chaotic and intense. And I wasn't like I was already out of my mind dealing with my own personal so I was really just like it, like I just was willing to walk into the fire and so it was just I always thought about it before all this stuff happened and it came out again. I just over the years I just thought about it as like just some wild that happened in my rock and roll life. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just some crazy shit that happened.
Imagine being at the peak of your career and suddenly facing chaos like this. The jurors weren't just listening. They were stunned, because these weren't rumors anymore. They were sworn statements made under oath. Then came another shocking moment, this time from Capricorn Clark, who had worked closely with Diddy during the Cassie years.
Testimony resumed today in the federal trial of music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. And today, one of the Combs' former assistants took the stand.
Okay, Fox 5's Lisa Evers was inside the courtroom. And Lisa, it was another day of intense testimony.
It was definitely intense testimony, Natasha and Steve. Former Diddy aide Capricorn Clark was on the stand talking about violence she witnessed as well as the hardship that she endured after she was fired by Combs in 2012. She broke down in tears when she recalled how she dedicated her life to Sean Diddy Combs and considered herself a type of protector.
On the stand, Clark described a terrifying incident that left her fearing for her life. She testified that Diddy forced her into a car at gunpoint, furious that she hadn't told him Cassie and Kid Cutie were spending time together. According to her, Diddy made it clear they were going to kill Cutie that night. And as Clark continued her testimony, the details only grew darker.
Tell you, this might just get even crazier than Diddy being charged with the kid of Capricorn Clark. Diddy's fourth victim is a female who is a prior employee and actually a former assistant of Diddy. Now, this former assistant is going by the name Mia as her pseudonym, and they asked Cassie Ventura if she knew this person, and she said yes, this is one of Diddy's former assistants. And we know Capricorn Clark is one of the female former assistants that used to work for Diddy back when Diddy was with Cassie. And even Cassie's mom confirmed that she knew who Mia was, the former assistant. And it doesn't end there. They asked asked one more person if they knew this assistant named Mia, and it was Dawn Burchard. Guess who was the former assistant still at that time during Diddy Kane? It was Capricorn Clark. So not only is Diddy being hammered right now on the RICO because the arson connected to Kid Cudi and the break-in of Kid Cudi's home is connected to a kidnapping. Both the arson and the kidnapping fall underneath that RICO charge. But I also think victim number 4 is gonna be Capricorn Clark.
She described the ride as the longest of her life, never knowing what might happen next. The trial even dragged the legendary Prince into the spotlight. Cass's former assistant testified about a night when she and Cassie slipped into Prince's private home to watch him perform. What should have been a magical memory turned unforgettable for all the wrong reasons. According to her, Diddy completely lost control outside, lashing out so fiercely that Prince's own security guards reportedly had to step in and break it up. Think about that. At Prince's house, surrounded by music icons, security was forced to intervene. Imagine being trapped on a private jet thousands of feet in the air with nowhere to go. That's exactly the story told by one of Diddy's former assistants. On the stand, he recalled watching a heated altercation unfold mid-flight. According to him, Diddy, with a glass of whiskey in hand, clashed with Cassie as she cried out, "Isn't anybody seeing this?" But instead of stepping in, the crew froze, refusing to get involved, leaving Cassie to face it all alone. Jaguar Wright has previously explained how Diddy managed to get away with this behavior for so long. The culture of violence in the industry, she said, was simply too widespread, too deeply ingrained to be challenged.
Go to Diddy parties, which is where people like me step in. To walk mother out! Cause ain't nobody stopping me when I come. Why would they talk about it? Who is there to go to? Who's gonna help them? What HR department do you know of that works for any of these labels? When have you ever heard of a sexual harassment suit being publicly acknowledged in the entertainment industry at all? Never. Not in entertainment.
Tupac. Remember that one?
He was the only one.
Yeah.
You saw how that turned out.
Yeah.
No, guilty.
That's why they do it. To make you an example. To remind you what they're willing to do to keep things the way they want them. It's intimidation. Can't go to the authorities. They're all bought and paid for. You could try to get a special prosecutor, but they'll just pay somebody to reassign him to another case.
If this trial wasn't already sounding like a Hollywood movie, then the Suge Knight chapter took it to another level. A former assistant testified that during a late-night trip to a Los Angeles diner in 2008, tensions nearly reignited the infamous East Coast-West Coast feud.
So Eric Sermon, he was the reason why, Diddy was beating me. Yeah, that's crazy, man. I didn't know that, man. And she was talking to Suge Knight at one point, right?
Oh, yeah. We had just got through, I think we were looking for Kim. And Kim wasn't home. So if Kim not home, we don't go home. So we jump into club after club after club until Diddy finds her. So then he'll have the babysit call her and find out where she at or whatever, this, that, and the third. And then we would have to go to the club that she at. And he wasn't even, he never stopped dating Kim. No, I don't care who he was with. It could have been with J-Lo. It could have been with whoever. He never stopped dating Kim. Kim couldn't date or be with nobody. She just couldn't. So now, this damn wolf, I guess he was holding this magazine in his pocket or whatever, and it was like a brochure or something like that, but it was Death Row. And it was Suge Knight with Misa. Now, when I told this story, nobody believed that, because they don't believe shit I say until it comes out in pictures or videos. it had Suge Knight next to Misa. Suge had the baby Misa had Justin in her arms, and Suge Knight was just like holding Misa, I think, like this, holding Misa. It was a friendly picture. But on the bottom capture of it, it said, what the East Coast won't take care of, the West Coast will. Yo, Wolf showed that to Puff. You could see veins coming through his forehead, through his neck and everything. He blew a stack. It was crazy. So, Misha was everything but a child of God. But you gotta realize, Puff wasn't giving her the money that she needed to take care of Justin properly.
Jaguar Wright has also corroborated Suge's belief that Diddy is a federal informant, pointing out that even his own father had worked in the same role.
Did y'all see when they interviewed Dapper Dan about Diddy?
I haven't seen that one. Please.
They ran into Dapper Dan in Harlem and they asked him what he thought about what was going on with Diddy and if he knew Diddy. And I love Dapper Dan for this. He said, I grew up with his parents. He said, and what's going on with him has been going on long before him. Now, his father was a government snitch and a bad actor in the criminal world altogether. But there's whispers in the streets of Harlem that Diddy's mother isn't alive. Not his biological mother, but that woman is his aunt.
Whoa.
There are whispers.
Wait a minute.
There are whispers.
One of the most emotional moments came when Cass's own mother took the stand. She testified that she once tried to physically confront Diddy after he refused to return Cass's stolen phone. But her account didn't stop there.
Cassie Ventura's mother, Regina Ventura, which I think was really important here, she corroborated almost, exactly to a T the testimony that Cassie gave regarding Sean Combs' potential and threat to release 2 sex tapes, one on Christmas Day. She also corroborated that she had actually taken pictures and photographs of Cassie's abuse. So that goes a really long way in terms of corroborating and bolstering Cassie's testimony. These are contemporaneous reports to her mother about what had happened. That's really powerful evidence, so much so that the defense didn't even attempt to cross-examine her.
She also said she personally saw the aftermath of his violence, noticing marks and bruises on her daughter's body. For the jurors, this testimony hit hard. It wasn't just friends or co-workers speaking anymore. This was Cass's own mother. Even members of Diddy's music groups came forward to testify. Don Richard, once part of Den Kane, described a shocking night at Cass's apartment. According to her, Diddy exploded in rage over something as small as eggs not being cooked quickly enough. She recalled him dragging Cassie upstairs while she stood frozen in fear. Hours later, Diddy returned with Cassie, handed both women flowers, and chillingly warned her that people go missing when they talk. Her testimony revealed how deeply power and fear were intertwined, and just how far Diddy was willing to go to bury the truth, a tactic he had already pulled off successfully during the Shine trial back in 1999.
Remember, the story was after it happened, everyone ran out. Diddy and J-Lo jumps in their car, and Diddy has the gun on him, and he tries to bribe the driver.
He throws it out, and it lands on a guy's car. And then they get pulled over, the next precinct up, the Midtown North precinct. And they're brought into the precinct. Now, that's where I heard that Parker might have passed the phone in, when they were at that police station. And
because Derek Parker, in my interview, said that he drove J-Lo and Puffy to the precinct after the shooting.
Oh, okay.
That's what he said.
Yeah, so he probably drove him from the one precinct there. So anyway, that was an allegation a detective had told me. But yeah, so this guy's sitting in his car, and a gun lands on his roof or whatever. And they don't put it together, though, for like a day or so. Because, I guess the way the guy reported, he reported in a different precinct, whatever happens, but they put it together. They tried to bribe that guy. This female security guard got bribed, and she said, I fell on him right after the shooting, And I didn't feel a gun against him. I mean, come on. You know, people changed their stories. There was a lot going on with that case. He should have been held accountable for what went on in that club. You know,
right? Because I remember when the police
started the whole thing. You know, I mean,
well, did he start it or? Cause
yeah,
I had heard that a bunch of guys were basically confronted Diddy and Shine and said something effectively. Yeah, we got money too, and they threw a bunch of money at him or something like that.
Diddy bumps into one of the guys.
Okay.
Doesn't say he's sorry. You know, he's not apologetic, and from there it escalates.
It was over a bump.
Yes.
A shooting over a bump. That's crazy. Shine went to prison for something he shot a gun, I guess, but he didn't actually shoot anybody. So you're saying that if this trial went the way things actually happened, Shine would have potentially not done the prison time that he did?
Well, I think they all would have done time for possession, everything else, but yeah, he kind of took the brunt of it. Yeah, I'll send you the clip. You can throw it in. Yeah, it was these guys put their hearts and souls into that case, only to have it lose control of all their witnesses through intimidation and offers of money and everything else, and and then you can't really prove it, so it was kind of devastating to them.
And has done it again this time. Cass's testimony was perhaps the most haunting moment of the entire trial. She revealed how she had been pressured for years to arrange and participate in disturbing private gatherings with male escorts, events Diddy chillingly referred to as freak-offs. According to her, he would record these encounters, often in hotel rooms, and later humiliate her afterward. Many now believe this was part of a larger scheme by Diddy to collect compromising material on powerful people.
Oh, they knew where he was at. They got your phones tapped. They're gonna stop your flights or whatever. They knew exactly where he was at. I don't think that when they have a warrant, a search warrant for a residence, it's not for a body. If they had one for a body, they would have brought it in. Now, if they would have went there and they found guns, drugs, and Diddy was there, they would have brought him in. You know what I'm saying? They would have brought him in. Like they brought his sons in. And then they want to know, well, why are these unlicensed guns in the house? Who drugs do these belong to? All those things like that. But a lot of people probably believe that, they just want to know, and the government want to know what things those people were doing on those tapes and who was doing shit on those tapes. Because I heard they found like 250 cameras or something like that.
That's what they say. They said they found a lot of cameras. There's a lot of rumors about him recording some of these parties, and he's using a lot of this stuff for blackmail, like a lot of celebrities, even as far as politicians. I think even Little Rod said that Diddy had every room taped and bugged.
Right. Well, in his affidavit or his deposition that he gave to the courts, he said every room was bugged, and that he did have tapes and information on a lot of different celebrities and people in the music business, people that were in politicians, and like I said, in other platforms, people that was in the ministry. Allegedly.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, if the feds got their hands on these tapes, you could very well see like a domino effect of coming down on everybody.
It depends on what's on the tapes.
As if the trial wasn't dramatic enough, huge celebrities continue to be pulled into the spotlight. Britney Spears, Michael B. Jordan, and even Prince's name have all surfaced during testimony. Cassie recalled that her 21st birthday party was filled with stars, including Britney herself. She also revealed that Diddy once accused her of being too close to actor Michael B. Jordan, fueling his growing jealousy. On top of that, Outside speculation has long suggested that Diddy might escape serious consequences because he was already cooperating with federal authorities, allegedly offering up even bigger names, like Jay-Z.
Will Diddy start snitching?
He better. But the only thing I'm interested in him talking about is everything he knows about Kathy Coriana White. See, I know you know what happened to Corey. Diddy, I know that. You and Jay-Z. Down in Vegas at Tao with Claudia. Why don't you just talk about Kathy? That might help. That might help a lot. Kathy Coriana White, Jay-Z's pregnant mistress, who died 24 hours after she announced that she was going public with their relationship and the baby. While he was married to Beyonce. Was it an aneurysm, Diddy? Or are you the one who paid the same coroner that you... Oh, Diddy, you should talk. Or are you the one who paid the same coroner that you... Oh, Diddy, you should talk.
Do you think there are more secrets about Diddy still waiting to be uncovered? Share your thoughts in the comments below.